Pretend there's music playing.
There is music playing.
I can hear it.
It's gargling.
It's hungry, dude. You haven't fed it.
I'm not gonna feed it though. He
Why
needs to
would
lose
you?
some weight. That fat
Fat
phone.
ass.
It's gross. Nobody's gonna want it fat.
Well, people like big phones now, dude. They're all the rage.
No one's gonna marry a big phone.
Kevin got one.
Yeah, see, dude.
Oh, fat.
Kevin, your phone.
Lose some weight, phone. Fat knees.
Back when I was a kid, phones were really skinny. They were small. You could flip them.
You could throw them against the wall and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, nothing would happen.
I hate it when you could throw phones against the wall.
You hate it? That's my favorite.
No, I hate that we can't do that anymore.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like women.
Movie
I grab
of
a
the
woman
week!
and throw So this is our first episode.
That's our first episode.
Of the Requiem for a Dream
Weekly
super
review.
duper extravagant melodrama mini-series of the week.
It's a work in progress, but this is the pilot.
This
if it
is-
gets picked up, we'll maybe make more.
We're selling it to HBO.
We might
And-
just do Requiem for a Dream every week, you know, if you guys like it.
I like the way I feel. Now when I get the sun, I smile. I'm gonna be on television.
Selling it to HBO, Fox, Target,
Yeah.
Best Buy, anyone that'll pick it up, really.
Yeah.
Sears catalog.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's our dream medium. If
Yeah.
if there's a platform that we could really sell this on, it's a Sears catalog.
Yeah,
experience.
that'd be ideal. Requiem for a Dream,
Requiem for a Tower.
which was suggested to me not by a particular person, but just in general.
Everyone's heard of it.
Well,
Everyone's
it's one of
heard.
those movies that always gets brought up eventually.
Yeah.
Whenever you're talking about movies or anything with anyone.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
It's always one of the ones where it's like, oh, that's the hard to watch.
So eventually I saw it. I rented it from our school library, and I saw it at night, and it was the last movie I was going to watch. It was like, I think it was the day where I was watching something else that I knew was going to be horrible, and I'm like, well, I can't end on that one. I want to end on Requiem for a Dream and watch the horrible one, earlier. So I watched it, and I'm like, I'm not scared at all. Everyone's always like, oh, Requiem for a Dream, a movie you literally cannot watch twice. You will die watching it. You will cry yourself to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, right.
You get so upset you throw up in your eye.
I'm going to throw up in my flippin' eye. So I see it. So the first act happens, and I'm like, this is unique. It's very different right off the bat. You're like,
It's shot really unique. It's shot like,
Yeah.
it's shot
Oh, no.
really unique.
It's like Edgar Wright if Edgar Wright was way more serious about everything.
yeah.
It looks kind of like a Guy Ritchie movie, too.
Yeah.
Immediately, it was very, it kept what could have been a not so interesting beginning more interesting because of the quick cuts. I'm like, oh, okay. That's kind of cool. And then the second act happens, I'm
I
like,
get it, drugs.
I'm like, this is pretty messed up. I mean, not gonna lie.
I felt like I felt so cool when the first time he did it because I was like, I get it. They're doing narcotics.
Narcotics.
After my mom doesn't come in.
Ass to ass.
So then the second act happens, and I'm like, this is pretty messed up. I said, but no, sir, you're not gonna get me.
I definitely laughed when I saw Keith David pop up. I was like, What is he doing?
Well, that spoiler. We'll get into.
You're
Keith
crazy,
David
you know
being
that?
there. But that Keith David shows up and he's the worst human being on the planet. He's like,
Calling her Maid Marian.
He's like,
it's such a gross line. He's like, I know it's pretty, but I didn't bring it up to air out.
Well, no, and then before that, he's like, one thing one thing I love about white girls is that they're great at giving head.
Yeah.
And then he whips out his dick. And he's like, yeah, black chicks. It's like they never learned how to give head. I don't know if it's like a tribal thing or.
Yeah, he is terrible.
And I was like, oh my god,
he's terrible on
David?
so many levels. So, but when the finale hit me, like when the last act hit me, I was like, this is my. Oh, holy crap, this is messed. Like, this is so fucking messed up on everyone's end.
See, Kevin, I think you may have ruined me for this movie, because I think you telling me to watch it tonight.
Bring tissues.
Yeah, you won't be able to watch it tomorrow. It will kill you.
I saw it today.
These are all things Kevin said to me. So, going into it with that in mind, I was like, I'm just going to wait for the moment where it kills me. And then once the last scene rolled around, I was like, oh, that was it? That's the part that's supposed to kill me? It's fine. I didn't feel any sympathy for the characters, not because they weren't like all the characters were well written, and well acted.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, I think, it's probably my favorite performance that he's been in.
He's
Panic
great.
Room.
That I've seen.
Dude, Panic Room.
Yeah.
Have people seen Panic Room?
I've seen it.
He's seen it 10 times. All the Jodie Foster parts. He skips all the Forrest Whitaker parts.
Yeah,
Get out of my movie.
Next to Fight Club, this is probably my favorite Jared Leto.
Yeah.
But he was really good. The girl was good. The black guy was good. They're all good.
Yeah, they were all good. Marlon Wayans.
Oh, the crazy
Of
lady
Lady
was great.
Killer's fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turned over maybe the only truly great performance he's ever had.
Wait, Lady Killers. Is that... I'm kind of in between you two. Like, it didn't, like, ruin me like it ruined you or whatever. But I didn't feel, like, no attachment like Alex.
No, it's not that I didn't feel attached to the characters. Like, that's what I was trying to get out was, like, I was attached to them. I just didn't feel bad for them in the end.
I don't feel bad for really any of the drug use characters, but the mom was the only like the storyline where I was like, from minute one I was like, this is so depressing. This is so hard to watch. It's not like gross or anything. It's just like
it's just difficult because you're literally seeing someone destroy themselves because of an addiction.
Yeah.
This movie, I said last week that I felt like I would probably hate it going into it. And this movie had some hurdles to get over in that department because it's pretentious. It is pretentious. It doesn't.
It is.
It doesn't hold back its pretentiousness. It's artsy. It's edited weird. It's about, well, I don't care if it's about drugs, but I mean, it's got like the art house kind of movie thing going for it. So I had to get over that.
Depressing. Art house depressing movie.
And also, it pretty much what's gonna happen within the first 10 minutes. Like once I saw once the mom was introduced and she's sitting at the TV, I was like, okay, they're making an analogy that she's addicted to TV, just like her son's addicted to.
Until she gets addicted to drugs.
Until she actually gets addicted to drugs. But I was like, okay, so they're putting all of their, like, the whole thing set up for you at the beginning, so it has to be good from here on out for me to enjoy this. And it is. It holds up to its own standards.
And I didn't feel, like, bad for Jared Leto's character or the other guy's character. I did feel bad for Jennifer Connelly's character, because she has such a horrific scene. And it's Jennifer Connelly.
I would actually argue I feel the least bad for her.
I don't feel bad for her at all.
I mean, out of the three, I feel the most bad for her.
See, because I've thought about it a lot, and I think
she's a total bitch. Halfway through the movie, she's a cunt. She's just like, Jared Leto, I hate you because you can't get drugs. And Jared Leto's like, well, I'm addicted too.
Well, no,
bitch.
it's not that. It's the fact that at the end she's smiling. She's the only one of the characters smiling, and it's like, oh man, okay. She's smiling there with her drugs, and she's like, and she's just content with what she did, and it's like, man, she's nowhere near, like, because everybody else I feel like has hit bottom. Yeah. She's not there yet. Everybody else is like, oh, I lost my arm.
I think she had already hit bottom by that point.
I don't think so, dude. That's the thing. She was smiling. She's like, worth it.
Because she was like, that's the lowest I can go. I've already been, for me, I think she had already hit bottom.
I think she's going to go
point.
lower, dude.
No, I don't.
I think she's going to, she was smiling.
She's at the bottom. Like, Sam, I like to think there's a spot below the bottom where you start smiling, Yeah.
I guess.
It's like okay, your kid dies, you cry. Your entire family dies in a horrible fire, you start laughing.
I mean, I feel like you can. I feel like there's things out there.
You can't be lower than ass to ass.
Well, you do ass to ass, and let me know how it goes.
Well, it'd be my body.
With
I'm not
another,
saying
Sam's like, with another chick with a bunch of sweaty, old, disgusting men standing
Ass
around
to
you, shouting ass to ass.
Yeah.
It's such a gross scene. Like, that movie has a lot of gross scenes in it. It's not a pleasant movie to watch. It's not a feel-good movie.
You won't feel good.
But that is the one scene where I was like, I need to take a shower.
It's not even like there's nothing about that movie that will try to make you feel good. Like it's even shot in a way that makes you uncomfortable.
And very
the whole movie wants
jarring.
to fight you the whole time.
It does. So they're all addicted to some kind of drug, but I think there's another layer to each of their characters that goes beyond just drugs. I think they're each addicted to something metaphysical. You know, like I think the mother she wants vanity. She wants to look good. That is her. So that's what drives her to the drugs. It's it's not like
she wants to be.
It's not like I put in drugs. I want drugs. Drugs are usually like an aid for something else. It's like if you ask JJ what does this character want, you wouldn't say they want drugs. No, they want something else. Drugs is the tool to get to that point.
Well, she wants to be popular basically, like because. She's going on about how she's got the good spot in the sun with all her friends. She's all about it.
The character I come closest to feeling empathy for is Jared Leto's best friend. Whatever, I don't remember that guy's name.
His name was Ty.
Because he seemed like he was trying to do the most for himself. Like he wasn't as bad of a stoner as Jared Leto was.
I felt like Jared Leto was trying to make the most of himself.
Well,
I mean,
he
kept taking the money and be like, "Oh, I'm going to start a business," but then he never did.
Well, I mean, their goals are different. Like Ty was really into the business part of it. You could tell because he didn't do the drugs as much as they did. He was really business oriented. He was running the in betweens, and
he didn't give his arm AIDS.
And that's why I think the flashback.
Also got a guy's brains all over his face.
Yeah, that was insane.
I love the flashback with him when his mom tells him, you're gonna be somebody someday, right? And he's like, of course. And I'm like, that's so cool, because he's literally taking, again, drugs for him is an outlet.
Well, his character
to be successful and to be a business.
Like he wants to be like he's going up the crime rink of it. Like he's getting it with the gang side and
But I mean, crime is like he wants the success.
Yeah. There was an actual point in the movie where I decided that I wouldn't feel bad for Jared Leto or the chicks, or I don't remember, for Connolly. There was a moment where I decided I wouldn't care what happened to their characters, and that was when they pulled the fire alarm, and I was like, yeah, I don't care what happens to them. Yeah. They're bad people. I don't like them.
Like all the, the drug addicted they're not teens, but them, the three of them. Like I found myself feeling less.
I agree. If there's a character that I feel bad for, it's the mom.
The mom is such a tragic story.
Yeah.
Like it's so, because I just kept sitting there just looking at it. I was like, that could easily happen to anyone because it's any person who ages and everybody's gonna age. And it's just like, she can't accept it.
She goes from being
and you want to lose
functioning
weight, and you want to be
adult-
like the people on TV, and you want to be popular. Everyone wants
She
that.
goes from a functioning adult to someone with like Down syndrome by the end of the movie.
Who's getting electrocuted at the end.
Electroshock therapy.
What is going on?
Jesus Christ.
The studio, and she's like, "Oh, I don't even need to
Where
take
she
the
turns
prizes."
into a crazy subway.
Yeah,
lady.
and everybody that also looks crazy on the subway is like, "Wow, what a crazy person!"
Like hobos on the street, like Jesus.
How embarrassing!
How embarrassing!
Giving us a bad name. Have any quarters?
I need to buy toilet paper.
Feed my dog.
And because each of them had their own goals and their own types of addictions, for me, it was so impactful with the montage at the end because showing simultaneously that not only did their addictions destroy them, but they explicitly did not reach any of the goals that they wanted.
Yeah. That movie is, despite being about drugs, has a very strong anti-drug warning. If you want to convince someone that drugs will just make your life worse, this is a good movie to show them.
And honestly, I think one of the reasons why it got to me so much is because
You're a drug addict and you sell meth to people.
I do. I felt bad.
It's like, man, is that what I do to people? Great.
Oh, sweet. Sign me up. But for me, I connected with not necessarily the drug addiction, but the thought of addiction. We are all addicted to something, and no matter what it is, addiction is what destroys you, not what you are addicted to. And I liked how, despite it being like you said, kind of like a Guy Ritchie movie, it's very erratic and very in your face. And kind of gritty. I thought there's just the way some of the like say the opening shot or the opening shots when it's the split screen of him and his mom on
Yeah.
both sides of the door. I'm like, that is really cool.
That's a really good opening scene. It's
really
it's
interesting.
very engaging.
It's also super seamless how they cut into that.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Which is
it's
funny
one
'cause it's-
shot and it seems like it's the same shot that's split into 2 different shots.
Yeah.
Remember when Jared Leto didn't have an arm?
Yeah.
How great was that?
He was like, dang it.
When he, I love that last scene building up to the arm because you can't tell exactly how much time is passing.
How's he gonna go like? Wait, is it that or that?
It's this.
that.
Yeah, because it's on.
Alec,
It's on
haven't
the
you
other
been
side.
watching it every day? Like the rest
The
of us?
extended cut. I don't
The
go.
extended
I
cut?
don't go back to the original cut anymore.
Don't you
It's
know
not as
you're
good.
Jared Leto's Joker? Don't you know it back, like the back of your hand, like the back of his hand that has the tattoo on it? Speaking of ass to ass, Rogue One puts a dildo into your butt and into its butt, and it enjoys
It ruins itself and it ruins you.
Yep.
Speaking of people
It
shouting,
went home and smiled.
speaking of people shouting, "Come, come, come, come" at you while you watch them.
Yep.
Rogue One also yells, "Come, come, come,
Over
come"
and
To
over.
nerds
over and
around
over.
the world.
Because it really just shows you a bunch of like pornographic images and tells you to come.
Well, no, but I mean, Rogue One's all the old people around her. That's what Rogue One is.
Rogue
Yeah,
One
yelling out those
enjoys it.
They work together. You're
Yeah.
going ass to ass with Rogue One.
There you go.
Rogue One is also yelling at you,
Yeah.
telling you to come.
Well, I mean, there's visuals and audio.
Oh,
out.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's actually going on? You're going ass to ass with Star Wars itself, and Rogue One's is what's cheering on. Because
You're going
ruining the
ass to
original
ass
Star
with
Wars
Rogue
menu.
One, and then Disney is telling you to come.
Star Wars is the dildo.
So anyway, anyway,
Two-sided, double-bladed dildo.
blade.
Blade.
I'm not kidding. If someone got me a blade dildo, I would use it every day.
Yeah. You have to.
It would never.
Cast iron.
It would never leave my ass.
It does the little. It was the wrong person.
If it's the wrong person.
Has Wesley Snipes' face on it going like this. I have one other complaint. I feel like I have this complaint way too often. There's not enough spaceships in it,
Yeah.
or dinosaurs, or
There was a dinosaur.
Why isn't it called
but-
Night of the Living Dead? I think that would be a much better title.
or zombies. I feel like some scenes can get a little repetitive in the middle.
Yeah.
I feel like you hear the same conversation more than once.
The dialogue's repetitive too.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking to his mom, like when he gets through the TV and all that, he's like, "Ma, you gotta listen to me," like 50 times.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
It gets
I mean,
a
the scene's
little,
fine,
yeah,
but it's just like I feel like
it's
repetitive.
a little
I know what you
tiring.
mean.
It doesn't. I don't think it's that bad to the point where I would lower my score for the movie.
Okay, so on a scale of the highest being some black tar heroin from Mexico, and a 1 being, or the worst being kicked in the balls, where does it land?
I'll take being drowned for 5 points.
It's I would say about being drowned.
Um,
The high you get from being drowned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking. We're talking about highs here. Being
right,
kicked in the
right,
balls
right, right, right.
by a big woman.
Watching Octopussy. Hi. That's where it is.
I would give it like you know those infomercials that have the bags where you can suck all the air out. So you get in one of those and someone sucks the air out and then you're completely sealed up.
I
How
think
you
I'd
get
give
from
it.
that?
I give it watching
movie.
goat porn.
Yeah.
All right, so next week your movies.
Yes. Superbad, Dirties, which is
Sorry, I'm already voting.
what the Devil's Advocate guys talked about. And we're like, oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it does sound cool.
And Logan's Run, which you guys aren't gonna pick.
Ah, Logan. Starring Big Hat Logan. Yeah, my vote's for the Dirties.
Okay.
Let's go with the dirty.
It just sounded so interesting.
The Dirt.
I'd like to personally thank you for making it to the end of this video. Having only 79 subscribers, every single view counts and makes us feel like what we're doing is worth our time. If you liked the video, please leave a comment or even subscribe if you're feeling so bold. Really means a lot to us. Thank you guys all, and see you next week.